Vladimir Putin is the current president of Russia and one of the most prominent political figures in the world. He has been in power for over 2 decades and has played a significant role in shaping Russia's political and economic landscape. In this essay, we will explore the life, career, and impact of Vladimir Putin on Russia and the world. Early life and education. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin was born on October 7, 1952, in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, Russia. He grew up in a communal apartment with his parents, Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin and Maria Ivanovna Patina, and his siblings. His father worked as a factory foreman, while his mother was a factory worker. As a child, Putin was interested in martial arts and sports. He started practicing judo at the age of 11 and went on to win several competitions in his youth. Putin also developed an interest in spy novels and movies, which would later influence his career. In 1970, Putin enrolled in the law department of Leningrad State University, where he studied law and politics. He graduated in 1975 and joined the KGB, the Soviet Union's intelligence agency. Career in the KGB. Putin's career in the KGB spanned over 15 years, during which he served as a foreign intelligence officer in East Germany and the Soviet Union. He was responsible for recruiting and monitoring foreign agents and gathering intelligence on political and military activities in the West. In 1991, Putin was stationed in St. Petersburg, formerly Leningrad, and was tasked with handling the city's foreign relations. It was during this time that he met Anatoly Sobchak, a liberal politician who was the mayor of St. Petersburg at the time. Sobchak would later become Putin's mentor and help him launch his political career. Entry into politics. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Putin resigned from the KGB and entered politics. He served as the head of the Federal Security Service, FSB, the KGB's successor agency, from 1998 to 1999. Putin was also appointed as the Secretary of the Security Council, a government body responsible for national security policy. In 1999, Russian President Boris Yeltsin appointed Putin as the Prime Minister of Russia. Yeltsin's health was declining, and he wanted to find a successor who would continue his policies. Putin's appointment as Prime Minister was seen as a way to groom him for the presidency. In 1999, Boris Yeltsin resigned as President of Russia, and Putin became the acting president. He was elected as president in 2000 and re-elected in 2004. Putin served as president until 2008, when he was forced to step down due to term limits. He then became the Prime Minister of Russia and served in that role until 2012, when he was again elected as president. During Putin's presidency, Russia saw significant economic growth and stability. Putin implemented economic reforms that stabilized the economy and reduced inflation. He also introduced measures to combat corruption and streamline the government bureaucracy. However, Putin's presidency was also marked by allegations of authoritarianism and human rights abuses. Critics accused him of suppressing political opposition, controlling the media, and cracking down on civil society. There were also allegations of corruption and election fraud. International relations. Putin's foreign policy has been characterized by a desire to restore Russia's status as a great power. He has been a strong advocate of Russian nationalism and has pursued policies that promote Russian interests. Vladimir Putin's foreign policy has been a significant aspect of his presidency, with Russia's relationship with other nations and international organizations being closely watched by the international community. Putin has been a strong advocate for Russia's interests and has pursued policies aimed at restoring Russia's status as a great power. Relations with the United States. Russia's relationship with the United States has been a key aspect of Putin's foreign policy. Putin has been critical of U.S. foreign policy, particularly its intervention in other countries' affairs. During his first presidency, Putin was supportive of the United States' efforts in the war on terror, but relations between the two countries became strained over issues such as U.S. missile defense systems in Eastern Europe, NATO expansion, and U.S. support for anti-Russian governments in the former Soviet Union. The relationship between the United States and Russia reached a low point during Putin's second presidency, particularly after the U.S.-led intervention in Libya and the crisis in Syria. The United States also imposed economic sanctions on Russia in response to its annexation of Crimea in 2014. Relations with Europe. Russia's relationship with Europe has also been an important aspect of Putin's foreign policy. Putin has sought to improve ties with European countries, particularly those in the former Soviet Union. However, Russia's actions in Ukraine and the annexation of Crimea have strained its relationship with Europe. The European Union has imposed economic sanctions on Russia in response to its actions in Ukraine and has also accused Russia of human rights abuses and crackdowns on civil society. Relations with China. Russia's relationship with China has become increasingly important in recent years. Putin has sought to strengthen ties with China, particularly in the economic sphere. Russia and China have signed a number of trade agreements, and Putin has described the relationship as a strategic partnership. The relationship between Russia and China has also been shaped by their shared opposition to U.S. foreign policy. Both countries have criticized U.S. intervention in other countries' affairs and have called for a more multipolar world order. Relations with the Middle East. Russia has been involved in a number of conflicts in the Middle East in recent years, including the war in Syria. Putin has been a strong supporter of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and has provided military and economic support to his government. Russia's involvement in the conflict in Syria has drawn criticism from the international community, particularly over allegations of human rights abuses and civilian casualties. Conclusion. Vladimir Putin's foreign policy has been a significant aspect of his presidency. Putin has pursued policies aimed at promoting Russian interests and restoring Russia's status as a great power. His relationship with the United States, Europe, China, and the Middle East has been shaped by a number of factors, including opposition to U.S. foreign policy, economic and strategic interests, and geopolitical considerations.